It's the last week of 2024, and you know what that means. Everybody's doing their year-end stuff. They started it back at the beginning of December. But me, I'm doing it at the end of the year like I should be. I've got several categories and all my favorites from 2024 in this, the first episode of 2024 Rewind. Welcome to 2024 Rewind. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report, and TKR Video Central. Welcome. This is going to cover my pickups for this year and all my favorite stuff to come out this year. I'm going to be doing it in several different categories. I will name my top 8 at the very end of the year overall, and in 2 categories. And then I have 2 subcategories and a special Christmas award. So let's get started with the first one, and that is the top record store day releases for me in 2025. Now, unlike everybody else, or 2024, excuse me, I'm already in next year. That's not good. Unlike everybody else, I'm not into the jazz. I'm not into the heavy metal. I don't like picture discs. I like good stuff, pop stuff, or rock stuff that appeals to me. This year, there were 5 great titles. Overall, there were more than 5 great titles, but these are the ones I've really enjoyed the most. And one of them comes from Black Friday, the other one's from Record Store Day in April. So let's get started. At number 5, this is War, the vinyl, 77 through 94. This 5 LP box sets includes... which ones does it include? Platinum Jazz, Galaxy, The Music Band, Outlaw, and Peace Sign. I'd never heard any of them but Platinum Jazz before. I'm a big War fan. I have the other 2 box sets. And there's the... Let's see, make sure I get the right direction so you can see the titles if you zoom in and freeze frame. But great sounding, great quality. Each disc is in a reproduction of its original album cover and is on different colored vinyl. This one, we'll just do Platinum Funk, for example. This one has the inner sleeve. This particular one is on the gray vinyl. I'm not going to pull all of them out, but I'm a big fan of War. I love them from the time I was a little kid. I think the Cisco Kid was out when I was 10. They've always been one of my favorite R&B acts. This also came, let me get this out of here, with this cool mock-up of the cover, as you can see, of the box set itself, and inside information about the box set. I almost like wrecked that. I also had a hype sticker that I've stuck in here, and I think it's probably fallen all the way to the back of the box. War, the vinyl 77 to 94, number 5 on my Record Store Day releases. Number 4, I had this on CD, couldn't wait to get it on vinyl. It's just one of my favorite albums of the 90s, and it definitely, there's something about the guy, and obviously, because now he's a Grammy winner, a Tony winner, little bit of everything. Number 4 on my Record Store Day releases this year, Duncan Sheik, debut album from Duncan Sheik featuring Barely Breathing and She Runs Away. This came on a cool cobalt blue vinyl, clear vinyl actually. Sort of, no, not really clear, sort of, it's opaque, but it's not completely clear. With a great inner sleeve, which are always way too tight for the albums they put in them, and song information, song lyrics, and it is one of only 1,500 copies of this printing. I think it's come back out since then to Walmart and so on, but not with this. I think it's just black vinyl, but really terrific music, and he is an ultimate 90s artist. And of course, he won a Tony for Spring Awakening, writing the book on that. Just an all-around terrific songwriter and somebody I really dig. Duncan Sheik, number 4. Number 3 on the Record Store Day releases this year. Um, People might be surprised a bit by this, but I love this band. I got this. I have a digital download of it. I think I have the CD of it, and now I have this with extra material. This is Dead by Sunrise, and the album is Out of Ashes. It was originally released in 2010, I believe. The late Chester Bennington's side band from Linkin Park. Really terrific stuff. Came with a hype sticker. Bought that at Rough Trade. Terrific stuff. Great inner sleeve with pictures and such. And this was basic, size see-through Coke bottle type vinyl. Really terrific stuff. It took me a while to get into Linkin Park. I haven't heard the new stuff. I know Mr. Beard from Spin Me Round loves it, but I have not listened to the new album yet. I have heard some people have been really not happy that they are still using the Linkin Park name. Now that, because Chester has been gone for quite a while at this point. Come on, get back in there. Yeah, this has been a pain since I got it. It doesn't want to go in. It always wants to go in sideways, and that doesn't protect the album. But it's a terrific collection of music. And Too Late, one of my favorite songs by him and by them, is featured on this album. Big hit single for them. Great set. And like I said, it is a gatefold with extra material that had not been released before. Number 3. Number 2, I talked about how I could not wait to get a hold of this. I have had this album since I was 3 years old. First album my mother ever bought me. And when I saw it was coming out on Record Store Day this year, I'm like, oh my God, I don't care how far I have to search, how many different mail order places I have to go to. I have to have this album because I love the album, number 1. My original album has been written all over. It had a piece of gum stuck on it and then ripped off. It's in absolute shit shape. This one is phenomenally good, and I wouldn't expect anything less of this album or this lady. Number 2 Record Store Day release of 2024, Nancy Sinatra and How Does That Grab You? This album features the singles How Does That Grab You? And I believe Bang Bang came out as a single also. Also includes her covers of 2 schlocky 60s classics, The Shadow of Your Smile and Call Me. Also includes 2 tracks additional that were not on the original album, The Last of the Secret Agents from the movie of the same name, and If Things Don't Start Picking Up, which is an unreleased outtake, and it is fabulous. This is also a gatefold. The original is not. This wonderful picture of Nancy and company in the side. Comes with a great booklet. I get this out with incredible photos of Nancy and information, interviews, all kinds of things. It also came with this archival series Obi strip. And love this awesome, pull the vinyl out, this wonderfully creamsicle orange vinyl on that Reprise recreation, which actually says Light in the Attic, which is the label that released it now. What an album. It was a little dinged. I got a little ding in the top corner when it arrived, because I do all my Record Store Day stuff mail order. I don't know what happened, but it didn't dampen my enthusiasm in the least, because I have no intention of selling it. And in fact, it has been played probably more than anything else I got at Record Store Day, because I don't have this on CD. I don't have this on digital. So I have a couple of songs, but not the whole album. And I remember that my original copy of this played on my little powder blue GE Kitty record player when I was a kid, over and over and over again. And now I've been playing this one over and over and over again. Nancy Sinatra, how does that grab you? Number 2 on my record store day list. Number 1 will come as a surprise to no one. You guys know how fanatical I am. And what can I say? Great album, 2 extra tracks that were available originally only in Japan, I believe, not on the CD that I have. And I was so terrified I wasn't going to get it. And it's hard to come by. And I don't understand why they only did 1 album, because they got tons of airplay, at least in the Boston market, on the rock stations. And I don't know about the rest of the country, but it was terrific, and it still is. Number 1 record store day pickup this year, Tinted Windows. This includes James Iha from Smashing Pumpkins, Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick, the late Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne, and the awesome Taylor Hanson on vocals. What an album. I love this album, and the extra tracks are cool. I had the extra tracks. I had to download them separately. This is the vinyl. It is split black and red. Very cool. Lyric sleeve. Sorry about hitting the microphone. And information. If you don't know Tinted Windows and you're a fan of power pop, this is right up your alley. Find it on CD. It's still out there, used, I'm sure. This is getting harder to come by, according to Discogs. So get it. Number 1 record store day pickup this year, Tinted Windows by Tinted Windows. And now, let's move on to the total pickups of the year. Now, these are albums that were new to CD or vinyl, reissues, and comps, not including the record store day stuff. And that includes these. Some of these I have on CD, some on vinyl. The CD I have, I don't know if this came out on vinyl. I don't think it did. When I ordered it, I could only find the CD. But man, I'll tell you, it was impressive as all hell. At number 6 on my top pickups of the year, this is an album recorded, I believe it was recorded in 1984 or 85, and never released until this last year. This is Incredible from the late, great Davy Jones of the Monkees. What an album. There's 10 great songs on here, plus a bunch of bonus tracks. It came out at the same time as this other one, the reissue of his Bell stuff from the same company. These were imported from England. Got them through Collector's Choice Music. Both of them are awesome. Davy is awesome. Always has been. And miss him terribly. But what an album. This would have fit right in with 80s contemporary stuff at the time. I'm surprised it didn't come out. Number 6, Incredible, Davy Jones. Number 5, I don't need to say any more. Just show it. And again, this got dinged too. Unfortunately. But, I mean, if you're a fan, you are. If you're a fan, you're a fan. If you know, you know. Number 5 on my pickup list this week. This year, for general stuff that's not in my top 8. This is the Eurovision soundtrack from 2024. Eurovision Song Contest from Malmo. Features the winner, The Code by Nemo, and all the other songs that competed, including the disqualified after the semifinals, Europapa by Joost Klein. Everything in here, 3 discs overall, I think, right? Yep. And if you're a Eurovision fan, you get it. If not, I ain't going to push it. Number 4 on my list came out of the blue, and I was so ecstatic to get it because I did not have this in its entirety. I'd heard it on Spotify, but I only have the first album on digital. I had downloaded it from eMusic years ago on the recommendation of a friend and loved it. And this one is just as good. And this is the second or third album. And I wish more people were into them. I'm actually surprised more vinyl community members don't talk about this band because of their sound. They're lo-fi garage rock, and they're really good. From 2001? I don't remember the original year, I'm sorry. The reprint came out in 2017, I think. This is the Smith Westerns and Diet Blonde. Out of Chicago. These guys are incredible. I have loved them since I first heard them. I heard them on a soundtrack somewhere, I think. And I went and grabbed that first album and fell head over heels in love. Some people describe this as shoegazy. I feel it's more lo-fi. I'm not really a shoegaze person, and I don't really know what it sounds like other than, certain big acts. There's the label. I got this from from Black Box. Came out of the blue. Of course, all those are blind buys. And man, I was so happy. If you like lo-fi rock, garage rock, give this a listen. All of their albums are on Spotify and Amazon Music. You can get it online and listen to it. It's worth getting. Smith Westerns, number 4, and Diet Blonde. Number 23 is the 2024 vinyl issue of the 2021 album, or EP actually. I need a drink for just a minute. Let me grab my tea. The 2024 vinyl issue of the 2021 EP by the man who is obsessed, who has taken over my life as an artist. I am positively obsessed with, because he's just freaking genius all the way around. And I can't praise him enough. And this is the album, or the EP actually. There's only 7 songs on it, that came out in 2021 after they would have won the 2020 Eurovision Song Contest, but it was canceled. This is Daddy Freyer, and welcome. This is a 10-inch. I have not bought a 10-inch record since Found All the Parts by Cheap Trick, so that would be 44 years ago, 1980. I bought some used ones, but not new ones. This includes their 2020 entry, Think About Things, and their 2021 fourth place finisher, 10 Years, plus all the songs he released on digital in the interim. Clear My Head, Somebody Else Now, Feel the Love, featuring Asdiz, and the Chromeo remix of 10 Years, and the Hot Chip remix of Think About Things. Think About Things went viral in 2020. And Daddy Freyer, I just cannot say enough about this guy. His 6'10" frame, from Reykjavik, Iceland, living in Berlin, Germany with his wife and kids, still producing incredible music, and his name is going to come up again in a few minutes. Daddy Freyer, welcome, number 3. Number 2, another one you expected, although I suppose you expected it at number 1. This is Underneath Complete by Hanson. The reason it didn't make the new list is because it's all previously released stuff except for the 2 or 3 new tracks, and I didn't think that really qualified it as a new album this year. But it's definitely great. It does contain 2 brand new tracks, Pink Moon and the Moonlight version of Penny and Me. 7 tracks that have not been released in the U.S., except here and there online, and the entire album, including the hidden tracks, on the 2004 issue of Underneath. I have talked about this album at length. This is my second favorite album of all time, behind Jerry Rafferty's City to City. It is an amazing album, and shows anyone who thinks Hanson is just MMMBop why they are wrong. It is an incredible album, and I urge you to check it out. It is also online, and you can check it out that way. Underneath Complete from Hanson, the 20th anniversary of the original album. Number 1 on my list might surprise you. On my pickups list, again, this album was originally released in 2021, I believe, but it wasn't released on vinyl until April of 2024. I had it on a download. It was only available on download, and then it was available on CD a year later, and now it's on vinyl. These guys are creative as all hell. They're not they're not conventional. Let's put it that way. If you are into alt pop or alt rock or again lo-fi shoegazy stuff, you might like these guys. I got into them because I liked the earlier band they were both in, and I got into that because I do TV stars and stuff who record. This is beyond that, way beyond that. The music they're writing is terrific. The new album is supposed to be out. I think they're planning early 2025, first quarter. I don't know. They've already released a couple of singles from it. But this is the album that broke them big on alternative radio. This is the Aubreys and Karaoke Alone. The Aubreys are Finn Wolfhard of Ghostbusters and Stranger Things and Malcolm Craig. The album was released in April on translucent blue vinyl. It includes the one song they had the big hit with on radio was Same As You. Karaoke Alone, which is one of the few songs Malcolm does lead vocals on, is my favorite song on the album. Kind of oddball, but really terrific alt pop music. And I don't know if, I think honestly, even though he's continuing to act in projects after project after project, Finn is getting better and better as he gets older. He's 22 now. He was 16 or 15 when the band Calpurnia started. And he's growing musically and as a writer, as a performer, as a vocalist, which he was not that great at the beginning. Here he's much improved. And I really dig this. And Malcolm put up a video, a year ago, maybe closer to 2 years ago, while Finn was shooting Stranger Things. He put together a video that was called Making Beats Part 1. It's on the Aubreys channel. If you want to see inside the psyche of Malcolm Craig, go watch that video. It is really something. My number one pickup of new to vinyl or CD reissues and comps this year, the Aubreys, Karaoke Alone. Magic Box will bring you my best Christmas release of 2024. It is When Daddy Stole Christmas from Daddy Fryer. Daddy Fryer released a great Christmas EP. 3 of the songs made it into episodes of Holiday Hootenanny. So if you haven't listened to that yet, you can go check them out. 2 of them are on the final show. He's done a Christmas single release every year since 2020, and they've all been great. But Something Magical, which is my favorite of all of them, is on there. He also has a song in Icelandic on that, and it's really fantastic if you're looking for some unusual Christmas music. My best 2024 Christmas release, Daddy Fryer and When Daddy Stole Christmas. Now we're going to turn mostly to Magic Box here. Not completely, but mostly. For my top 8 CD or digital only releases. These are albums that have not been released on vinyl, at least as far as I know. I did my research. I did a lot of research, although one of them will be out in January, and it's one of my favorite bands, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But these are my top 8 digital only releases, and I urge you to check them out. Now there's going to be a Spotify link playlist down below where you can click on each album and check it out. So you can check that out in the show notes, and it'll take you over to the list where you can click on each album on this show, and hopefully you'll enjoy what you hear. My top 8 are in this order. Number 8, this magnificent album from Michael Whalen, Watercolor Sky. As you can see, he has guests Mark Isham, Michael Manring, Nancy Rumble, Will Ackerman, and Charlie Bisharat on this. This is more mostly piano, although there's some keyboards. His album last year, Imaginary Trains, also made my big list. It was all synthesizer. This is very new age, ambient, acoustic, kind of smooth jazz type stuff. This is Michael. Michael is an established and award-winning film composer and television composer. He also does all kinds of stuff outside of that. Love this dude. He is amazing. And this is one of several albums like this I'm going to talk about. He also autographed it because I ordered his stuff. He is available through Bandcamp. He also sent an autographed poster of the album artwork. Love Michael. Love his stuff. And if you haven't heard this or Imaginary Trains, they're both on Spotify, and I have a link to this up on the site. Everything else is Magic Box because I have no other way to do it because it's all digital. Number 7 is actually a pair of singles. The album has not come out yet. It was supposed to be out in September, but they bumped it back to, I think, May of this year. And I love these two. And I have been a fan of the older half of this duo since he appeared on America's Got Talent in 2020. Absolutely fantastic piano player, keyboardist, guitarist, drummer, everything, and he does it all as an autistic musician, as does his sister. They are both Jake and Sky, is the name of the act. Jake Velasquez and his sister Sky Velasquez. Jake has a condition called PDD-NOS, Persuasive Developmental Disorder Not Otherwise Specified. And when he talked about it on AGT, I was like, wow, that's something. But you look at him now, and you look at the videos they put up, and you look at these wonderful songs that Jake is writing, producing, and doing for them. They are contemporary Christians, so if you're not a Christian, you may not get into them. But the songs Fearless and its follow-up, Because of You, are incredible. Jake and Sky, I have missed them all 3 times they've been to Boston. I've not been able to see them. They frequently perform with Doug Flutie's Autism Charities group, Stars on the Spectrum. They are fantastic, and if you haven't seen them or heard them, I urge you to check out the videos. Go to, I think it's Jake and Sky, or it might be Jacob Velasquez. I don't know which channel they're on. But they're on YouTube, and you can get them on Spotify. Number 7 digital release this year, Fearless and Because of You, the singles from Jake and Sky. Number 6, I have been talking about this gentleman again for a number of years, and he only just turned 18 recently. He is an amazing singer, songwriter, performer, producer, and he's 18 years old. He just turned 18 in November, I believe. His name is Alexander Balabanov. He was the Ukrainian entry in the 2020 Eurovision Junior Eurovision Song Contest. And that's where I first saw him. I've been following his career ever since. Now going by the name The Multiverse, his album Am I Current Enough is available on Bandcamp. It features Divine and several other big hits. I have to be honest, Divine is a great song musically. Lyrically, it leaves a lot to be desired. It seems to be like throwing magnetic poetry and getting lyrics that way. But the rest of the album is well better thought out than that. There are 6 or 7 songs on the album EP. Alex is just an incredible performer. He has several things before that under his own name that you can find. He's on Instagram, he's on YouTube, he's on Spotify. You can find him everywhere, and I urge you to check him out if you're a pop fan, pop music, dance pop fan. He is fantastic, and I love that EP. Number 6, digital only release this year, Am I Current Enough, by The Multiverse, aka Alexander Balabanov. And Alex, I hope you get to go home soon. Number 5 might be a little bit of a cop-out, and I'm going to say that here. I have been following and pushing this dude for 4 years, again, from AGT. But he truly is a rock star in the making. His originals are incredible. He does incredible covers of some of the best rock songs of all time. He has an immense following on his YouTube and Instagram channel. And he recorded a bunch of stuff a couple years ago, and it still hasn't come out for the most part. And he worked with John Carter Cash doing it. couple of those have come out as singles, but the most recent EP, the only EP he's released so far, is Home, a live solo session. It's by the incomparable Dylan Zangwill. Dylan just turned 18 on December 22nd. He is an amazing performer, and like, you know, he calls himself Rockstar in Training on his website. I don't think he's training anymore. This kid is blowing people's minds everywhere he performs. He performs a lot in the Philadelphia area because that's where he lives. He's a regular performer at his parents' brew pub. He performs at other locales around Philly. He was in Florida recently. He performed in Texas, in London, all over this year. He is an amazing performer, and I'm using that word a lot. I'm sorry, but Dylan, I've had contact with him. He knows I'm a huge fan. But 3 songs on an EP, and this is all piano and him only. It doesn't include his guitar work, doesn't include any orchestration. Dude, love this, but we still need a full album from you. Number 5, Home, a live solo session, plus the singles that came out before it, particularly Better, and a couple of other ones, which are all on his Spotify, from Dylan Zangwill. Please check him out. Number 4, a lot of these people I'm talking about have been on my Artists You Should Know, and I really think that they are artists you should know. They're just terrific performers. And there's no exception to this. And this guy is particularly special to me because he's made me like a genre I can't stand for the most part, hip-hop. I'm not a big hip-hop fan. I like certain acts, rap, hip-hop, that kind of stuff. I only get into certain songs and certain acts. One of the acts I've gotten into is this kid, and he's amazing. Number 4 on my digital-only releases this year is Think Big from Sonny Soljic, actually, J-I-C, sorry. Sonny is a professional skateboarder and actor by trade. He also does music and is probably best known for his lead role in the Jonah Hill film Mid-90s in 2018. Or 2017, I think, or 2016, sometime back then. He was 13 and 14. He's 19 now. He does some amazing rhymes and rhythms, and I'm not saying that because I'm a diehard skateboarding fan. I'm saying that because I'm a diehard Sonny fan. This kid is great. He comes up with creative stuff. He has incredible beats. He does it all on his PC at home, and this EP and a number, more than 10 of earlier singles, they're all worth listening to. They made my he made my Power Tracks 50 numerous times over the last 2 years, and he's going to keep doing it as long as he keeps turning out spectacular material. Number 4 on my list for this year, Think Big by Sonny Soljic. Number 3 is a band that I have been following since finding them in one of my random plays on Spotify back in the mid-2000s. The thing that pisses me off about these guys is every time they change band members, they take some of their stuff offline. And so a lot of the older stuff you can still find on their SoundCloud site, but you won't find it on Spotify, you won't find it on Bandcamp, you won't find it anywhere else. And these guys deserve way better than they've gotten so far. Number 3, A Dream Through Open Eyes, the latest album from the incredible band called The Strike. These guys do power dance pop at its absolute best. It's has a very 80s retro vibe to it. I have 6 of their albums and EPs. They are phenomenally good. Lead singer Chris Crabb has this incredible high tenor voice that just sends chills down my spine. A Dream Through Open Eyes will be out on vinyl in January 2025, so you won't have any excuse at that point. But this and their older stuff, this is their last album, their most recent album, and it came out sometime during the summer, and it is fantastic. All of their stuff is fantastic. I urge you to check out The Strike if you have not done so already. They are absolutely artists you should know, and my number 3 album, digital only album of 2025. My number 2 album of 2025 that's digital only, I understand it if you want to say, I'm not listening to that. It's not in English. That's fine. And for once, it's not in Spanish. I love, and I've said a number of times over the years on my channel, I am a sucker for Spanish language music. And I don't speak a word of Spanish, but I've got tons of Menudo and all the offshoots and solo artists and Luis Miguel. It's because I love the sound. But there are other languages I got. I have a number of albums in French. I have some stuff in Japanese. And these guys, they are the only ones I have in Slovenian. I love these guys. They are so talented, and I think the world really gave them a shaft when they did not make the finals of the Eurovision Song Contest in 2021. They were only 18 and 19 years old at the time, barely, and they were still in high school, and they were Slovenia's entry with our song Disco, which also is an English language version online. But LPS, which is short for Last Pizza Slice, and their album Pokaż mi, I think is how you pronounce it. It means wait for me. I can't pronounce it. It's fantastic. Yes, I don't understand any of the lyrics. But Philip Vujudson, who is the lead singer, has an amazing voice, and everything is just fabulous about these guys. I can't, they're shooting to stardom in their native Slovenia, and I'm not a big surprise about that. They were actually filmed a movie this year where they were in a movie as themselves. They made some changes at the beginning of the year when the new album came out. Original guitar player Mark Simijek, I think his name is pronounced, departed for other pastures. He's working morely as a solo artist on... he wants to go a little bit more rock and blues than the band did, so they parted amicably. He's still friends with them. They still talk. They still commiserate. Samija, that's it, Samija. I had to look it up here. But LPS is fantastic, and their debut album, Pokaż mi, includes their top 5 TKR chart smash, Osem Korakov, which came out last year and is just incredible, particularly when you watch the video. And I mean, the sound, the vibe they give off. They do speak English very well, actually. They're very fluent in English. And I'm hoping down the road an English language album or a few singles will be on the horizon. They did release Disco in English. They have another song, Silence in My Head, available in English online. But let me tell you something. These guys are fantastic all the way around. LPS, Pokaż mi, number 2. My number 1 digital album only this year will be out on vinyl at some point. I've had discussions with the artist. I said, are you coming out on vinyl? I really need vinyl. I got to have vinyl so I can buy copies and send them to people. Because if you don't know this guy and you are a rock music fan, you do not know what you are missing. He's not even, I think he's 25. I don't think he's 25 yet. He is absolutely the second coming of some of the rock's great acts from the 60s and early 70s. He has a very retro vibe about his sound. You've heard some of, if you've listened to my Power Tracks Top 50 Countdown when it was running, it'll be back shortly, you heard a number of his songs, several of which are on the album, some of which are not. There's a lot of original stuff on the album, and he has a second album already done, and he was going to release it late this year, but he hasn't done it yet. I don't know why. He's also a member of the band Balto, but as a solo performer, this kid is right up the vinyl community's alley, and I'm going to prove it in 2025. My number 1 digital-only album of the year, Tristan Lake Lebu and Living in Yesterday. This album is incredible. You might remember Tristan's name. He was an actor as a child. He starred as Superman and Lois's son in the 2006 Bryan Singer version called Superman Returns, and he was also an Emmy-nominated actor on The Young and the Restless for 2 or 3 years. But he has turned his attention fully to music, and boy, we are all luckier for it. The stuff on here, Tristan, I've already told over Instagram messages and stuff how much I love this album and how much I love his music. I really think if you guys listen to this guy, you will fall head over heels in love as much as I have. Living in Yesterday has some great vibes. There's some harder rock. There's some melodic rock. There's a couple of ballads. There's a lot of great stuff. And he's written it all. And he's fantastic. #1 album, digital only, of 2024. Living in Yesterday, Tristan Lake Lebu. Please check this album out. I don't know why I'm getting hoarse. And I've got plenty more to do yet. Because we are up to the biggies, the albums of the year. I have 3 of them on CD and 5 of them on vinyl. These are the albums that are my ultimate overall best of the year that were out on either vinyl or CD. And in all 3 cases, the CDs I have chosen to buy the CDs. They are available on vinyl. These are my top 8 for the year. Number 8, I found this guy when I was listening, when I was doing when the top 50 countdown was going week by week. And when his album came out, I grabbed it. And man, I understand why people love him. He's got great sensibility, great writing, great performing, a great vocalist, and from what I've heard, a really great person overall. He's just winding up his nationwide tour, and I've been watching stuff on Instagram, and he's just absolutely a really amazing young artist. My number 8 album of 2025, Found Heaven from Conan Gray. This is pure pop at its 2024 best. Great lyrics, great songwriting, incredible vocals, really good instrumentation, stark when it needs to be, flush when it needs to be. And this kid can sing like there's no tomorrow. Number 8, Found Heaven, Conan Gray. Number 7, laugh if you want, but I got the deluxe version of the CD of this. There is a vinyl out. It is missing 3 of the songs. But even now, going on 40 years after their heyday, they are still making good music together occasionally, and they are still at the top of their game. Even though they're in their 50s at this point, or late 40s at the earliest, they are still everything they used to be. Number 7 for 2024, Still Kids from New Kids on the Block. This is the deluxe edition. It has a booklet that came with it, and 18 incredible songs. There's only 15 on the vinyl. Including the hit single Kids and a few other things. Jordan, John, Donnie, Joe, and that's terrible, I've forgotten the 5th one. Danny. They're getting older, as you can see from the picture, but they're still fantastic. And 3 of them still live in this area. Jordan actually co-owns a restaurant up here. And Danny Wood and John and I also live in Mass still. Wahlberg's was off doing his cop show. And Joe, I think Joe lives in New York, I'm not sure, but he's around. And his son is making waves as an actor. These guys, if you're a fan of pop and you like the teen pop from the 80s and you like their sound, this is just as good as everything else they've done. I'd put this right up against Step by Step, which is my favorite album by them. Or anything else. It's that good. And here's a current picture along with the CD. So you can see they are aging gracefully. And their vocals haven't changed. Number 7, Still Kids, the deluxe CD edition from New Kids on the Block. Okay, number 6 after that's going to blow your mind. This guy released this on Bandcamp, and if you haven't heard it, you should, especially if you're into ambient music. I am an ambient fanatic. I love ambient. I love keyboards. I love synthesizers. I have been in love with that since the 70s when they were I guess Captain Tennille's use of synthesizer would have been the first I ever really heard of it. But then I started hearing stuff done only on synthesizer and only on these other things. And, I'm gone. Kraftwerk, Synergy, Tangerine Dream, some of my favorite acts. This guy, I'm not really familiar with his other band. I know he's popular in the vinyl community because of it. I was never a big fan of the band because it's just not my style of music. I know people like it, and that's fine, but it's not my cup of tea. This album blew my mind. This is Patrick Sansone and Infinity Mirrors. Patrick is part of Wilco. And if you know Wilco, this is going to be completely different than what you've heard from him ever. 6 amazing tracks that take up almost 45 minutes. And it is an incredible odyssey. I like to shut the lights off, turn on the colored lights, and just sit and listen. This is an incredible album. It's available on CD also. You can order the CD from Bandcamp. Really terrific stuff. And I don't know if they're going to do any more solo stuff, because he still works with Wilco and a couple other bands, but dude, I love this album. Thank you for this. Patrick Sansone, Infinity Mirrors. Terrific album. I promised Steve Carlson I was going to blow his mind. I was watching his top 12, and I'm like, oh, that's great. None of these acts I've ever heard of. Oh, wait, one of these acts made my top list, too. And I don't think it's any surprise because it's been on a ton of vinyl community top lists of the year. It's because they're just that damn good. Number 5 on my list, CYBERGIRL, First Boy on the Moon. Carlson's the one that got me into these guys. I wish he'd listened to me about some of my stuff, Marie Osmond notwithstanding. But, oh my God, I love the first album too. But this blew my mind. Terrific stuff all the way around. I've had them on the top 30 several times since the first album came out. And, of course, this came to me right at the beginning of the new year with a personal note. Again, bought from Bandcamp. And these guys are amazing. I mean, this is David Pedroza and his band. I classify it as power pop, garage power pop. I think they classify it as punk pop. It has a great vibe, and I know people think of me as Mr. like Teen Idols and fluffy, top 40 pop, but I like this stuff too. I really do, and this album is fantastic. First Boy on the Moon, CYBERGIRL, number 5 for the year. Let me slide this note and sticker back in here. I talked a few minutes ago about Finn Wolfhard and the Aubreys. Calpurnia was made up of 4 incredible young musicians. There were Malcolm and Finn, who now make up the Aubreys, Jack Anderson, who has started to make his own ambient stuff, and who I've had some correspondence with when I bought his stuff through Bandcamp. He's a really amazing artist. And the 4th one was their guitarist, and she blows my mind. Although it is dated 2023 on the album, it didn't come out until March of 2024. The singles did, and she made my top 30 my top 60 a number of times last year and continued to do so with her new releases this year. This is AYLA TESLER-MABE and her album Let Me Out. It's an EP, 6 songs. All of the songs that hit the Kirkham Report top 30 or top 50 are on this album, including Haven't Seen Much of You Lately, Natural Tendency, Keep Her Mind Off the News, and eventually great little signature there from her, even though the note isn't really personal, it was personalized. Ayla is the other missing part of Calpurnia. She's also with the band Ludic as their guitarist, and she has more new material coming out in 2025. If you like rock guitar and alternative rock, Alanis Morissette type stuff, not surprisingly, Ayla's from Canada too, and she's fantastic. Number 4, Let Me Out, AYLA TESLER-MABE. Number 3, oh, this was tough when I got to the top 3. Number 1, I knew what it was going to be, but number 2 and number 3 went back and forth a couple of times because I love both these people. And I've had the pleasure of seeing number 3 in concert. Absolutely love her. She is amazing. And again, I first became aware of her through AGT when she appeared as an alumni. I can't believe she finished, she was eliminated in the quarterfinals the year she was on. It was before I started watching. Because this woman is incredible. And she's also a runner-up on Dancing with the Stars. From 2024, my number 3 album of the year, Duality, from the incomparable Lindsey Stirling. This woman and her violin make magic every time she touches it. She touches bow to string, and your heart will melt. I know, that sounds so floral, sorry. There is nothing. I have all of her stuff. I've gone back and gotten all of her stuff. And she is an amazing artist, and her violin is magic. I'm a big fan of a number of violinists, and I got that way because of Lindsey. Lindsey and Emil and Daryl Rockcellos, who were also on AGT, made me fans of those 2 instruments in a big way when it came to rock music. And there have been a number of other ones since Lindsey that I've become a fan of, but nobody tops her. Number 3 album of the year 2024 for me, Lindsey Stirling and Duality. Number 2, recently. This is a recent release, and I had to finally listen to it. I've gone back and gotten an earlier album. I got to get the other 2. And my favorite song by him isn't out on an album yet. It's only digital. But I'll tell you something. Every time I see this gentleman online, on his own channel, on other channels, when he's performing, he always brings a smile to my face. And the reason is because he's everything you get when you take a masterful storyteller like Harry Chapin, put it together with the musical the musical veracity. I can't think of another word. The musical veracity of someone like Jimmy Buffett, and you throw it in a blender with 4 or 5 other great contemporary songwriters like James Taylor and even Huey Lewis and some of them, and you pull out this guy, and his music is always great. Now, 2 songs he did this year were not on this EP. They're only available digital. But they've been on the Kirkham Report Power Tracks 50. And he hit number 1 last year with Magic. And this album, it just keeps getting better and better. Thank you, American Song Contest, for showing me who this guy was. This is Alan Stone and Mystery. This came out in September. It is a 7-song EP. See here. Comes with a great artwork signed by Mr. Stone. And is on cobalt blue, right? Did I get blue? Baby blue vinyl. Has a information sleeve. And that powder blue vinyl. Alan Stone is one of us when it comes to me and Kim. The man has a sense of humor that is absolutely hilarious. His music is fantastic. He is an incredible performer. From what I've seen, he's an incredible entertainer. If you're in Nashville next summer, I think, or Memphis, one of those two cities, he's going to be doing a residency there for a week or so. Grab tickets. Trust me, you won't regret it. Number 2 for the year, everything this man touches is just phenomenally good. If you're not familiar with Alan Stone, please make yourself so on Spotify or Amazon Music or Tidal or one of those, because his music's on all those services, and on YouTube. Alan Stone, Mystery, number 2 for the year. Drum roll, please. You guys know what number 1 is already if you watched my show at all when it came out in September. I have been pushing this dude ever since. Some people have taken the time to listen, and those who haven't bought the album. They're like, oh my God. Carlson might be the one exception. If you have not heard this album, you owe it to yourself to hear it. And not hearing it until now means you don't have the right to put it on your favorites list anymore, because you're too late. You should have been there when I first recommended it in September. Or August, actually. This man is less than 25 years old. His mastery of the guitar is incredible. And again, thank you, AGT, for introducing me to him several years ago, because I've been following his career ever since. And this guy, I am going to be stunned if he is not a superstar within 5 years. My number 1 album of 2025, Dragon in Harmony by MARCIN. MARCIN Patralik, his full name. What an album. He has help from a number of acts. Let me pull up here. He does Portugal the Man, Tim Henson, Delaney Bailey, and Ichika Sito, another great guitarist. Join him on several tracks. He does both originals and covers. His cover of Heart-Shaped Box from Nirvana is amazing. He does it, I don't know what you call this style of guitar that he does. I mean, he's classed as classical guitar, but he's not 100%. I would class him as classic rock rhythm guitar, or guitar, percussive guitar, because he does guitar and percussion all on the same instrument. If you have not heard this album, listen to it. If you have not bought it, buy it. If you do not get MARCIN, I don't want to know you. MARCIN's Dragon in Harmony, number 1 for 2024. And I'm kidding, of course. I, of course, want to know you. I want to know everybody. The one thing I love about the vinyl community is the diversity. There is something about, I mean, okay, we got our gatekeepers. There's gatekeepers out there. And that's obvious. But none of them tell you, oh, hey, you can't listen to this. I may not want to hear about it, but you can listen to it. None of them tell you that. They get gatekeepy about, stuff, other stuff. But most people are welcoming and like a little bit of everything. You got your prog fans, you got your Beatles fanatics, you got your Stones people, you got your jazz lovers, you got people who are really out there and super eclectic with their sounds. People like Vinyl Richie, who likes a little bit of everything, or Stunty, Melinda Murphy, who is everything, Professor Carlson, who's into punk and Zamrock and everything else, and me, the original pop OG. I'm a pop person. I'm a dance pop person. I'm a disco person. But as First Boy in the Moon shows, I'm also a rock person when I want to be, and I got Guns N' Roses, and I got a lot of hair metal. The diversity of the vinyl community is what makes it magic, and what has made it magic in 2024. I have found a number of artists from other channels Carlson last year led me to First Boy on the Moon. And of course, Rachel's Ghost has talked about them since, and Mazzy has talked about them. I mean, everybody, they're a favorite now. And I would like to see MARCIN take off that way, because I think once you've heard that album, you're going to be hooked. But that's up to you. I hope you'll check out the list. I've got a list of links for every album I've got that I could find. In the show notes, there's a link to the list. And there's a Spotify links. I do not have the Amazon links, but you can look up the album title on Amazon and Tidal and Deezer and everybody else. And you can look up the artists on YouTube. All of them are there. You can find their music. If you've never heard it, I urge you to check it out. Because I want to hear somebody be converted to MARCIN or AYLA TESLER-MABE or Alan Stone. I want to hear from somebody that says, damn, I heard the strike, TC. You were right. They were freaking awesome. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to make a profit, although making a little on the side would be nice. I'm here to share music and spread the word like everybody else. And that's ultimately what we're all about. And why 2025 will be a great year just as well as 2024 has been. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. If you have, thank you. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by Tuesday at 11:59. Not quite there yet, but we're getting close. And I've got to say, I'm closer than I ever thought I'd be at 9:51. And I thank you so much. I'm sorry for no programming this week because of my computer issues. No musical programming. That should resume, I hope, next weekend when I get everything fixed up. I hope. But I will have the year-end stuff and a few other special stuff this week to fill in for it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming on board my channel. Thank you for watching my stuff. Thank you for enjoying it. And thank you for commenting. If you don't comment on my stuff, I die a little bit because I want to know what you think. I love hearing from you. And you don't have to agree with my opinions. Professor Carlson and I never agree with each other, but we have fun talking about it. And I think that getting to know you is through your comments is the best way to make the vinyl community continue to evolve every year. And I hope you'll be with me when I do it in 2025. If you're watching this on Sunday, I'll be on live tomorrow night with Dawn and Patrick Murphy for Finding Your Music Mojo. We'll do our year-end recap there. And on Tuesday, my Take a Bow with all of the people we lost this year. And that'll all lead into a start of another new exciting vinyl year on Wednesday. Until next time and the next episode of Rewind, I'm TC Kirkham. I will see you on the interwebs. Ciao, baby.